Hello everybody, Hot Rods Films here, and today I'll be doing a top 10 list of some of my favourite Transformers figures in my collection. And so before we get to the list, there's a couple of things I'd like to point out. One, this list is based off my own personal preference. Two, all of these figures on this list are from 2 or 3, maybe 4 different lines. It's not a list of a particular line. So that's all. With that out of the way, let's go to the list. Number 10 on my list goes to Hotlink from the Netflix series line, which you could find in Kmart here in Australia and Walmart in the US. And he cost about, in Australian money, cost about $50. I'm not sure about how much he costs in the US, but in Australia he cost about $50. Well, all Voyagers cost about $50 here in Australia. So I think it would cost probably less or maybe more in America. But going on to what I like and what I think about this figure is I like his paint job. I like the dark purple with the light purple with the black. I think that looks really cool. I think his paint job looks really cool. I don't know why, but I just think it looks really cool for some reason. And I think out of him, Thundercracker, and Starscream, he's probably the second best of his molds. So I would recommend him if you could still get your hands on him. So that's it for Hotlink. Now we'll go on to number 9. And at number 9 is Hardhead from the Retro Headmasters line, which you can still find in Targets here in Australia and Walmart in America. Again, I'm not sure about how much they cost in America. I know they might cost about 20 or something, 25, 20, 25, something in the US, I'm not sure. But here in Australia, I do know for sure is that every deluxe cost about $30, maybe $35 in Australia. So what I like about Hardhead is that unlike the Titans Returns one of him we got, is that this one looks more like him. It looks more like Hardhead. It looks more show accurate. His head looks like Hardhead, whereas the Titans Returns one really didn't. This one really does. I think he really looks like Hardhead. That's one thing I really like about this figure. So he really looks like Hardhead. So he's probably the best Hardhead that we've got so far. And I would recommend him. He's a good figure. So going on to number 8. That being Siege Ironhide from Wave 2 of Siege. He's a pretty good figure. I like this mold. I like his mold. I've also got Crosshairs, so I like his mold. And he's probably one of the best Ironhides that we've got, I might add. He's one of the best Ironhides that we've got. And if you want this figure, you'll probably be able to still get him off eBay. I'm not sure how much he would cost, though. Siege being so last year. Because we're on Kingdom now, I don't know how much it would cost. But yeah, I recommend Ironhide. He's a pretty good figure and it's a pretty good mold. So now we'll go on to number 7. That being Ultra Magnus from the New Kingdom line. And you could probably still find him in Toy Mates or Casey's Toy World or Toy World here in Australia. Maybe Big W here in Australia, and probably Walmart in the United States. So the leader classes in Australia usually cost about around $90. I'm not sure about the US price, but the price in Australia for him is $90, around $90. So what I like about him is that he looks G1. I like him because he looks G1. He looks like his G1 self. And I used to have the Siege version, but I got rid of that one because I wanted this one because he looked more G1. So another thing I like about him is that they incorporated the White Optimus thing in there, which you can take his armor off and he can be like what he looked like in the Dreamwave comics, where his armor came off and he looked like Optimus Prime. Looked like White Optimus Prime. I suppose that's because they're brothers in that comic and in the old Robots in Disguise series. Both of them, they're brothers. I liked how they put that in there. You can see that behind the chest plate here, that you can do that. So that's all I have to say about Magnus. Now going on to number 6. Number 6 goes to Hound from Wave 1 of Siege. So what I think and what I like about Hound is that, well, he's probably the best G1 looking Hound that we've got, except for probably the Revealer Shield one. But he's got some pretty good detailing on him with the headlights and the Autobot symbol and the tail lights on the back of the car when he's in vehicle mode. And his head looks G1 accurate. And it's probably the most G1 accurate Hound that I own. I do have the Combinables one, but this one's better. So he's a good figure. I like his transformation. His transformation is good. And he looks like Hound. So going on to number 5. We've got Jazz. Now Jazz is from the Studio Series line. You can still find him in Kmart's in Australia and probably Walmart's in the United States. I've already said the price point for Australia with the deluxes, and I said I'm not sure about the US price. So going on to what I like and what I think about Jazz is that, well, like most of the figures in the Studio Series line, he looks like G1. He looks G1. He's G1 looking. I think he's probably one of the best Jazzes that we've got so far. I think they did a really good job with making him look like G1. I think he's a really good figure. I would highly recommend him. You can still find him in the shops. Or you could probably still find him in the shops. So, yeah. And going on to number 4. which is another one from the Retro Headmasters line, and that is Brainstorm. Brainstorm. He's a pretty good figure, and there's one thing that a lot of people don't like is that his head. I prefer as well the original head from the Rebirth, but this head doesn't really bother me too much. And I just think what I like about this figure is that, well, it looks more, I suppose it looks more show accurate than the Titans Returns one that we got. And he's also easier to get, so it was pretty easy to get here in Australia and probably still in the United States as well, because you can find him in Target in Australia and Walmart in the United States. I went to Target the other day and they had heaps of him. So, yeah. Australian Target. So, yeah. He looks more like, with a lot of the paint apps, he looks more like Brainstorm, I guess, except for the head. So, I still recommend him if you can still find him. And number 3 goes to Hot Rods, also from Studio Series line. He's a Voyager, so in Australian dollars he cost about 50, like hotlink. Again, I'm not sure about the US price, but yeah. So what I like about Hot Rods, he's got a lot of good cool gadgets in him, like the visor that he had in the movie and the thing that he used to fix Cup with. And he's got a port in his arm here where you can flip the hand down and there's a port to put his little saw thing that he also uses in the movie on, which is cool. And he looks like Hot Rod. I think they did a really good job of making him look like he was in the movie. He's probably the best Studio Series figure I own, him being at number 3. So yeah, I would highly recommend him if you can still find him. So going on to number 2 now. The second one on this list is Trailbreaker from Wave 3 of Earthrise. In Australia, he was pretty hard to find. I had a pretty hard time trying to find Trailbreaker. The only place that they really sold him in Australia was at Big W, at One Big W. So, yeah, it was pretty hard to find. I got him from Pop Culture. I suppose in America, they probably sold him at Walmart or Target. But, or if they don't sell him there anymore, you could probably still get him off eBay or Amazon. They still sell him on Amazon. So, yeah. What I like about this figure is, well, he looks close enough to G1, I guess. And I like this, that his back piece can come off and be a shield for him. So that's another thing I like about this figure. And there's one thing I like to point out before going on to number 1, is that it would have been nice if this wasn't just a handheld weapon, that if it was incorporated into his arm and his hand somehow, that would have been great. So now going on to number 1 is Chrome Dome. I recently reviewed this figure, if you'd want to go back and watch my review of him. He's a pretty cool figure, which is why he's at number 1. He's probably the best figure that I own. He looks like Chrome Dome. He's got a pretty simple, smooth transformation and not that bad movement, not that bad of a movement. He's got good movement, posability as well. I'd highly recommend Chrome Dome if you can still find him in Target in Australia or in Walmart in America. So that's it for the top 10 list. I hope you liked it. And if you want, you can put your own top 10 list of figures in your collection in the comments down below if you'd like. Also, help me get to 10 subscribers by pressing that subscribe button. And if you like this review, if you like this top 10 list, this video, give it a thumbs up. And I think that's all I've got to say before wrapping up this video. That's it. I'll see you next time. Bye.